What'd you make of the deals last night?
Well, I mean, I like it from the White Sox on both ends. If you take the money aside, it's hard to when you critique it that way in the money, it's an awful lot of dough there for a closer. But again, everyone deals with their finances differently. From the White Sox, they dealt from a position of strength after getting a couple of their guys, especially signing Adam LaRoche and getting Zach Duke, the left-handed reliever. So now they go out and they get themselves a starter and a closer. And the closer, for me, was the big one because they blew a ton of games last year. I mean, you saw the White Sox that too. Their bullpen was a huge problem for them at the back end. So even when they were leading in certain games, they couldn't hold the lead. And Robertson really impressed me after one full season. He's got the good breaking ball, sharp breaking ball. Strikeouts are about 10 per 9 or so, a little bit more than that. But he handled it in New York. He followed in the footsteps of one of the greatest of all time, and he handled the pressure. So for me, I was really impressed with that.
That and the fact that he threw strike one all the time. He was always ahead in the count, and your closer has to be that guy. Nothing worse for fans, for coaches, for players themselves to watch their closer come in and walk a couple guys and then have to bail himself out of a trouble.
What did you make of the Samardzija deal?
Well, I like it from the White Sox standpoint, obviously. I mean, this guy, he went from I'll say good pitcher, average pitcher when you look at his ERA and some of the other things, his stuff, to I'd say top of the rotation, number 2 type starter, maybe not at 1 for me, but number 2. And part of that is, and Jack, you obviously can speak to this even more, but early in his career at the major league level, he went bullpen starter, and he didn't pitch a lot in his career because he played football at Notre Dame on top of that. So repeating your mechanics and being consistent with pitching, that takes time, right? We know that, and that's why they used to always go through the minor leagues. Well, he hadn't done a lot of it, so I think he was just coming into his own at a little bit later age, and we saw the results of that this year. And boy, he did pitch at a high level. Now he goes into his free agent year. To me, that's what you want from an executive standpoint. You want that guy, going to be a free agent. Now he's pitching for motivation in that next contract.
I like the whole fit for the White Sox. Number one, this guy is above average as a starter. I agree. He fits that 2 slot really nice. He has embraced Chicago, especially the White Sox. He was a White Sox fan as a kid. He grew up 40 miles from there. And I think there's some value to that. I really do. I think guys going home, maybe early, and it happened to me when I went to Minnesota, you press a little bit. You want to be so good right away, and it might take a little time for him to settle in. But I think if you're going to play out your free agent year, what a better place to do it than at home.
Sure.
And what he does with Chris Sale as the number 1, now he can kind of slip in behind there, don't have the pressure of being that number 1 guy. I know he had that with Lester in front of him out in Oakland last year, but I think it's just a good fit for both sides.
Yeah.